I think Shaw is the guy that that I think is really top of the heap at one time or another. Zydrunas, he has that kind of maybe a bit more power than Shaw, and maybe for longer. Kaz, in terms of believing it with every fiber of your being that you're truly the strongest man to ever walk the planet, at least in your day. And I think to the core of his being, I don't think there's probably anyone who ever really, ate, lived, slept, breathed it, and believed it like that guy.
I agree. I genuinely think if Kaz competed now, he'd still be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, and Marius, I think Marius absolutely is one of the most impressive. Half Thor.
Yeah.
I think Half Thor never kind of bowed out kind of early, and I think Eddie in terms of he's got that kind of
the mindset,
otherworldly, willing to risk it all.
Very similar to Kaz, I would say, in that respect.
Yeah, nearly psychotic, nearly completely out of balance.
Yeah.
Fanaticism, grandiosity, dedication, insanity. And that's why, if this fight happens with Thor and Eddie, you can't discount Thor just because of the physical potential there. I mean, that guy's a freaking mutant.
Yeah.
And, but Eddie's, he's not going to leave the ring unless he's absolutely given 100%. And he is thinking about it every waking moment from now until then and doing his best to prepare for it. I mean, if you watch his little documentaries, there are two or three that are like an hour or an hour and a half long, and you get a peek behind the scenes of what's going on behind those eyes, man. That guy's out there. And, when I met Eddie, he struck me because he came up very nice, very humbly, and said, just want to introduce myself. I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something like, I've enjoyed watching you. You're a hero to me, or something like that, or an inspiration or something. I don't know what he said. I don't know if he used the word here, but it shocked me. And it was very respectful and very humbling. And that almost never, ever, ever happens amongst elite strongmen. That was a unique experience for me at World's Strongest Man. And it was after I'd become a broadcaster and not a competitor. And I never really got to know Eddie very well. And I really honestly kind of discounted, because here's a guy with a mohawk.
I think a lot of people did early on.
And lots of beach muscle and really good at the deadlift and a good presser. But I'd seen that before. That I wrote him off as one of those guys that you see comes on like a comet, comes on, like a blazing comet, and then he's gone. And nothing really happens. They might make it in the top 5 or something like that, but they're not going to be the guy standing on the podium. They're going to be gone before they've got, the experience and the skill and, to make it all go together. So I didn't pay a hell of a lot of attention to him.
Yeah. It
shocked the hell out of me when he won World's Strongest Man. And I saw him in 2016. When did he win? 17?
17, yeah.
I saw him in 2016. I hadn't been to the Arnold in 6 years, and saw him backstage. And I was like, holy shit, man, that guy does not look good. He looks like he could fall over and die any second. He's just sitting there waiting for his turn to deadlift back behind the stage. And, you see guys that are purple and red and having trouble breathing and, don't look relaxed.
Yeah.
And, I really, really respect him for exiting the sport.
Yeah.
What he did. And you have to have some kind of appreciation for someone who's willing to put it all out there. That's not me.
No, I was going to say, I'm probably similar to yourself.
Yeah. I want to fight another day.
There's other things that are more important But
Yeah.
you have to respect someone's willingness to go to that level to achieve their goals.
And I
And
think it's fantastic that he's found another avenue for that in this grudge match against Thor.
yeah,
And, you know, and also another avenue for it in marketing himself as, you know, this persona, this world.
well, he just seems to be one of those people that no matter what he puts his mind to, he's going to give it 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
he acknowledges that there's sacrifice with it, and he talks openly about it. And I think that makes him all the more accessible and real and valid. And, you know, he owns his sense of self. You know, I think that's very empowering to a person to not only be honest with themselves, but to be honest with others. And he has that ability. So
definitely.
So, you know, who are the guys that I respect or think are kind of the ultimate competitor? It's really, really difficult to pick just one. You know, I think Marius and Zydrunas and Brian and Eddie and Kaz and Ahola, man. I mean, that guy was 6 foot and 1/4 inches and 265. You know, everybody.
Did you turn up? Did you turn up when you saw him?
He was in a room. I'll say that.
Yeah. You look at him and he turns up. You'd be like, "Who's this guy?" And then suddenly he competes and he's just a machine.
But there's so many guys that could really shock you. You know, Terry Hollins. You know, when he's big and dumpy and strong, he moved like lightning.
Yeah.
I mean, where'd all that speed come from? Fleming Rasmussen, same thing, big dumpy guy, but moved like amazing.
Yeah.
Yanni Bertanen, built like a toothpick. So much pouring power. So much.
I think that's one of the great things.
The guy right there. I mean, you know, I said you look like Cousin It from the Addams Family. What the hell are you doing here? You know, I'm like, you don't look like a strongman. You don't look like an athlete. You don't look like a power lifter. You must have taken it personally, because like then you end up a few minutes or a few days later or a year later, like smoking me and everybody else on the farmer's walk. You know, the only one that edged you was Marius. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know who the top is, but I think Eddie's definitely got that sort of otherworldly, other level thing that Kaz had. I don't know if he has it quite the same way that Kaz did, but in different eras. And, you know, the other thing is Zydrunas. I think being world's strongest man, I think, sorry, Mr. Hall, but I think it means the ability to endure. You know, one of the qualities, one of the defining characteristics of strength is the ability to endure. And Zydrunas, you know, you had him on recently. I watched the interview because I know very little about him, because he's not a talkative guy. But 30 years, you know, from a teenager.
Well, his first Worlds was the same as yours.
Yeah, 98, but he was training strength before that, and he's kind of still going.
Still competing now, yeah.
And he won, what, 4 Worlds and 8 Arnolds or something like that?
Unbelievable.
I kind of think the Arnold's was suited for him and tailored for him, arguably in some ways. And
he won two of the ifs.
And his wife loves Zydrunas, and they like picking events year after year that worked well for Zydrunas. You know, not to belittle him, but you know, he won all those contests, and he won them all legitimately. And it took him a long time to get his first World's Strongest Man, but he got 4 of them. And when he won World's Strongest Man, I was an announcer then, and I was the first person to run up to him with a T-shirt for him to sign. And he signed it. I said, "No, you're not done." Did not put WSM.
Yeah.
And I gave that T-shirt to Terry Todd, but I think that you have to really look at someone's longevity when you think about this. But you know, again, he's not that sort of natural, intuitive athlete that someone like Marius was. You know, so there are a lot of different ways to consider it.
While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.